All right, shalom, shalom. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory that's due to Yahweh, by Hashem Yahweh Shah, by Hashem Kakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders at Great Millstone, those who rule well and who I learned this truth from. And salutation to the brothers stiffly pushing this one truth and all sincerity and diligence, risking your lives and freedoms to do so. Shalom to the rest of the elect as we all await the second Exodus coming quickly by the hands of Lord Yahweh Shah. This your brother Kagabar. All right, and we know one of the signs that we're at the end of this place is pestilences. All right, pestilences, all right, is a sign of end times, man. All right, mass spreading diseases, all right, that start wiping motherfuckers out by the millions. Those are signs of the times, and they show you that in these particular shows. You can hop on Netflix, Prime Video, Hulu, and you're gonna stumble across shows that pretty much highlight a airborne pathogen or whatever type of virus it is that spreads and start dropping people, man. Well, we were speaking about this at camp the other day, how they're pretty much beginning to warn again of another pandemic, okay? And we wouldn't be surprised because first time it happened under Trump, and Trump is in office all over again, bringing this country to straight to shit. So I wouldn't be surprised, all right? And we also know that, the elites want to keep the population under a certain number, and they warned that there would be another deadlier pandemic, man. So I'm gonna read through this a little bit, grab a precept or two, and that'll be that. But it says leading epidemiologists warn the next pandemic will kill more than 7 million Americans like a biological bomb. All right, and this is why we call these shits planned demics, because it's already planned out. How would you know it would be capable of killing that amount of people, man? All right, which we know that they weaponize viruses and they weaponize these things, all right, for the sole purpose of being able to mass population reduction, man. Okay. You got people still walking around with masks on to this day. I was at the store yesterday and I seen it. I seen at least 2 to 3 people that had masks on, man. Cause C-19 really they did that shit. They ran that on the people to see who would all comply, who would get down. And now when they run this next one, hey, guess what? They gonna push, they gonna go for the kill. They gonna go for the kill on it. That's why they warning 7 million Americans would die. It was a couple years ago, you had a Bill Gates insider said the next pandemic will kill billions of people. You see what I'm saying? So how is this? Why do they know this? Because it's all about design, man. And they want to do this shit so they can push digital IDs. Okay, yes, they want to push digital IDs because, that way they, it would be able to track, all right, who's taking a vaccination, who hasn't taken it, all right, who's likely to spread the virus, right? Now they can, if they had that information on you, they can quote unquote try to prevent it before it happens. See, and this is why, back during the pandemic, you had particular countries like Europe that were pushing for digital health certificates to show you've been juiced up. So that was all a psyop, man, on the people to really, to for this next one, they can just go ahead and try to finish the job. But it says, the next pandemic will kill more than 7 million Americans like a biological bomb, which, it's like, what's up with all the rest of these people who took the juice, who didn't drop from it? You had a good amount of people who was dropping from it. All right. The reports was coming about athletes and shit, otherwise healthy individuals, but they took the juice to keep their livelihoods going and they died. But then on the other side of that coin, you got a lot of people that took it that it may have taken more time for it to react with their bodies. And, we pretty much got to wait and see what's up with them, man. Because, they got movies like The Last of Us. And, there's a whole fucking list. Where these viruses and shit spread, you got the candida fungus or whatever it's called, So we're in times of pestilences, man. And this spells the end of this empire, okay? This is Luke 21 and 11. Luke 21 and 11, it says, "And great earthquakes shall be in divers places, and famines, and pestilences, and fearful sights and great signs shall there be from heaven." And all of those things are happening, man. All right. All of those things. All right. We're seeing those things in these times, man. But the point is that, we're dealing with pestilences too. And they're warning, many warnings have went out, that the next one is going to really claim lives, man. All right. Okay. So back to this article. All right. It say, even as the world still reels from the devastation of C-19, leading epidemic, and this place couldn't survive another pandemic economically, man. All right, the government is already shut down. Imagine you get a pandemic sweep through this place. This place is through. This place, mom and pop shops, hey, they're done, man. The tariffs, that's pretty much fucked a lot of them up. So if they had to deal with another pandemic, this shit would literally be a wrap, man. Okay. But it say, leading epidemiologists warn the next pandemic or global pandemic could be far worse. In the big one, how we must prepare for future deadly pandemic 2025, Michael Osterholm and Mark whatever lay out a compelling and chilling case that a far more virulent airborne pathogen could spring up and overwhelm modern societies. And when you look into the WHO, all right, and the UN, you understand they're pushing for global digital IDs. All right, one of the initiatives of the digital IDs is for pandemic preparedness. See, this is how we fight future pandemics. All right, by means of having people have a digital ID. You know what I'm saying? That can be used, all right, to track, right, monitor, prevent the spread before it happens. See? So again, this is all a part of Esau's ploy to digitally enslave you, man. And they're gonna bring about things like pandemics and and war and collapse. That way you turn to them for the solution. Now, I typed in on ChatGPT who, all right, and use cases for digital ID in a pandemic scenario, right? It says here's a breakdown of who stands to use, or it's like who stands to use or be affected by digital identity in a pandemic scenario, and use cases drawing both from WHO guidance, which is World Health Organization, and real world examples. All right. Now let's just read a bit. All right. This is who would be affected. All right. And, use cases or whatever. But in individual citizens, which is you people, the people, it says to prove vaccination status or test status, to access health services, travel, work, or attend events. So real soon, when they bring about Pandemic 2.0, which Lord's willing is right around the corner. Hey man, to be able to go to the movies, to go to these little soccer events and football games and clubbing and and to the bars, you're gonna have to show proof of your status, man. They were already doing this during the first one. Okay, they were already doing this. Okay, and like I said, other countries had it to where they had digital certificates to show your proof, man, for you to attend these events and concerts and shit. All right, this is what they pushing for, man. The next one, all right, and I speak as a man, but I don't, I believe it that they're gonna have to have it to where you gonna have to get that digital ID, because that's what they pushing for, That's what all these countries are pushing for, man. So to show your proof this time around, they may try to do some little physical shit initially, but hell, I wouldn't be surprised if they just said no, man. Look, digital, because Esau can't keep wasting time, man. He's either, he got to try to establish this system, you see, but yeah, to access health services, travel, work, or attend events. It says Healthcare providers, hospitals, clinics, workers need to be identified and authenticated. Clinics need to record and verify patient identity reliably. Government and regulatory bodies, border control, immigration, customs for travel, police enforcement in context of mandates, mask and So I mean, yeah, you pretty much get the point. They're gonna have to tie this shit to you being able to move around, maneuver through society, and to show that you are safe, that you're not a potential spreader of whatever fucking virus or disease it is, and that you've complied with the juice, the jabs, right? And whatever the case may be, but they are bringing about another pandemic to be justified in rolling this shit out, man. And these devils always got a fucking excuse, First it's the border crisis, right, to deal with the illegals. Then it's a fucking pandemic, they always got these reasons as to why we need this digital ecosystem. Well, here it is, man. All right, so we wouldn't be surprised, man, when this next one leads to shit much more fatalities than C-19 did. All right, but I'm gonna end it off there. I'm gonna give all praises to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahweh Shah Ba'Shem Rakakadash, DTA Wa Baba Ball Shalom.